Welcome to the Best of Come Follow Me. Thank you for making the Best of Come Follow Me your first Come Follow Me listen of the week. If you, like us, love to supplement your study of the doctrines of Christ found in the scriptures with Come Follow Me podcasts, then we hope this channel will help point you in a good direction for your podcast study.
So today we'll have a few different brief segments. First, we'll do an overview of this week's Come Follow Me curriculum. Then we'll each do our podcast highlight of the week. Then we'll do a podcast lowlight of the week. And we'll have a podcast joke of the week.
Woohoo! This week, the scripture curriculum is Jacob chapters 5 through 7. Jacob 5 is where Jacob quotes Zenos's allegory of the olive trees. Jacob 6 is Jacob's brief explanation of the allegory. And Jacob 7 is Jacob's record of his interaction with Sherem. 3 points we want to make by way of overview. All of the podcasts were wonderful, informative, and inspiring.
Second, if you want to learn more about the practical nature of olive trees, then there were a few different podcasts that touched on that. I'd recommend in particular the Scripture Central video with John W. Welch and David Seeley. We can link that. A couple others that added some practical insight were the Meridian Magazine podcast and the Unshaken podcast. Third, almost every single podcast that we listened to, and we listened to all of them that have been released, quotes or references President Hugh B. Brown's story of the current bush. You might enjoy listening to the original in his voice. We'll include a link to that as well.
Yeah. Okay, now for the highlights. It's always difficult because they're all so good, but here goes. You start.
I chose Teaching with Power this week. This podcast was unique in that Brother Wilcox focused on teaching the account of the olive trees as a parable rather than as an allegory. Check out this clip where he applies dunging to our lives.
Have you ever felt like life just dropped a load of dung on you? Times when everything just seems to fall apart, when everything goes wrong, when the kinds of things happen that make us turn heavenward and ask, why? Why, Lord? Why are you doing this to me? Being dunged is no fun. These are the unpleasant, smelly, demoralizing experiences of our lives.
I love that clip partly because it's funny to say life drops a load of dung on you.
Yeah.
Second, more importantly, because it resonates with my life experience. I recall one time I thought I had a new job in hand because I'd been an intern at the company, and it was pretty normal for companies to hire their interns, give them a full-time job. But then I didn't get the job, and it was devastating. Ultimately, I ended up getting a good job elsewhere and had unique experiences that I would not have had otherwise. But at the time, I felt like life had dropped a load of dung on me.
Yeah.
Anyway, you need to listen to the whole Teaching with Power podcast. He does this for all of the aspects of the allegory, the grafting, the land, and does an excellent job applying those principles to our lives as a parable. And he tells, in fact, a great story about where you are planted from his personal life. So I recommend Teaching with Power.
Sounds great. The one that I chose, Don't Miss This, also used a lot of those to apply, which I really appreciated. One of the things that I appreciated is that instead of trying to read the entire allegory and understand all the meaning and stuff, is to just look for the attributes of Christ and to learn who he is based on how he is reacting in his vineyard. So yeah, here's this clip.
And I just love reading about a God who's going to suit his graces particular and according to the situations thereof. That's one of the spiritual gifts that you see when you see those in the different chapters. So, that's suited to their particular situation. That he works. He's not just a cookie cutter God. He works according, he knows your heart. He knows what you've been through. He knows your past. He knows your desires. He knows every particular of your life, and he's going to work in it and work for you according to those particular conditions.
Yeah, so similar to yours, it's interesting to think through what has God done in my life and how has he dunged me or trimmed me and moved me or moved things into my life or taken things out, and what type of God does that, and how his knowledge and grace and love for me is really the best thing for me at that time, and how it's going to help me grow and flourish and produce good fruit. Later on, Grace tells a really neat story from her mission, and you got to listen to it, and it was really touching and meaningful. And
That's around minute 40, you said?
yeah, I think it's around minute 40, so check that out.
Now moving on, there were a few podcasts this week that seemed to elevate Sherem's ministry above Jacob's, such as saying that Sherem's testimony did what Jacob's could not, or saying that we don't have any evidence that Jacob's teaching was effective, but we have evidence of Sherem's teaching being effective. So I want to make a few points about that. First, we do not know how much time has passed since Jacob's sermon in Jacob 2 and 3 at the time of Jacob 7. All we know time-wise is that Jacob 7 tells us after some years had passed away. Second, we have no idea of the spiritual state of the Nephites at the start of Jacob 7. We don't know what Jacob had been preaching about recently. And I think it's unfair to presume that over the years, the prophet Jacob's teachings were ineffective simply because Jacob did not record the effect. Third, there's no evidence that Sherem's final testimony solved any of the problems that Jacob was earlier concerned about, such as pride and chastity, or anything else. What do we actually know? In Jacob 7, 1 through 4, we learn how Sherem taught, using flattery, perfect knowledge of the language, what he taught, that there should be no Christ, why he taught, to overthrow the doctrine of Christ, and the effect of his teaching. He did lead away many hearts. Now, after his confrontation with Jacob, his deathbed confession, and his death, we see the effect on the people in Jacob chapter 7, verse 23. Peace and the love of God was restored. The people began searching the scriptures, and they stopped hearkening to that wicked man. In other words, the record shows that Sherem made a spiritual mess, and then Sherem cleaned it up. After all, if I lie to you or hurt you in some way, sure, I'm uniquely in a position to undo that wrong, because I'm the perpetrator.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't say that I was able to do what President Nelson could not. The fact that I am the only person who can apologize directly for my mistakes does not elevate me over someone else who did not make that mistake. It's apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. Lastly, we have a joke of the week. In addition to being an excellent podcast episode this week, full of insights about Jacob 5, 6, and 7, there were at least 3 good jokes in this week's Follow Him.
Wait, are they good jokes or are they good dad jokes?
Well,
because they're good at dad jokes.
I suppose that's in the eye of the beholder. We'll play the one that I think was the best of their 3, and you can go find the other 2.
Okay.
I tell my students when we read Jacob 6:12, "O be wise, what can I say more?" That O.B. Wise has a brother, Obi-Wan. So this is O.B. Wise and Obi-Wan Kenobi, those brothers.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Hope you have enjoyed this. Feel free to let us know in the comments your thoughts on this week's podcast. Or let us know if you disagree with our response regarding Sherem. We're always happy to be corrected. Okay, next week, we'll cover the books of Enos, Jerem, Omni, and Words of Mormon. We look forward to you joining us again on the Best of Come Follow Me. Now, stop listening to us and go listen to Don't Miss This and Teaching with Power.